Wow. The search term police shootings on rise in Google produces no less than 4 pages of results that they're all related to the rise in police shootings, and they're from all different places. LA County, fatal police shootings rise 70%. That's 1 year. Number of suspects killed by police in Los Angeles County has risen nearly 70% in 2011 over the previous year. They say suspects here, as though these people were suspected of crimes, but the reality is that these unarmed Anaheim men shot dead by police. A lot of these shootings, they're shooting people who are unarmed. Shootings by police on rise, Chicago Tribune. String of fatal shootings by Dallas police raise concerns. Look at this, going back to 2010, police shootings of dogs on the rise. Notice I said the police shootings of dogs that were on the rise in 2010 and all these police shootings that are on the rise in 2011 and 2012 are shootings, the police shootings of people, a lot of them unarmed, that they're all, it's part of a national policy that, it's not like, oh, this happened in one little place or something like that. This is everywhere in America, which it shows that the police departments of the nation have been infiltrated by agents of the federal government, that they're taking orders on a national scale. These orders, they're not coming from the local cop shop, they're not coming from actually they might be coming from the chief of police over whatever area, but because that chief of police is a federal agent, he's taking his orders from the federal government, and that's why it's a national situation that all of these places, especially the major cities, police shootings are on the rise. Everywhere, they're everywhere. There are more cops shooting more people everywhere. Fatal police shootings in Los Angeles County rise by 70%. Police shootings, Greater Houston Coalition for Justice. Man killed in police-involved shooting in Hunting Park. Rise in shootings after police move. I go to page 3 of the results. Police shootings on the rise in Georgia. LA County, fatal police shootings up 70%. Police-involved shootings among African Americans on the rise. Police chief concerned with rising number of officer-involved fatal shootings, obviously. That's Wichita, Kansas. Augusta, gang shootings on rise, police say. That's another bunch of people that are under control of the federal government, that the CIA has people in the gangs, and if they want to spark violence to defend police budgets, then they'll just order their agents in these gangs to do more shootings. CIA, they are the drug distribution network in America. Shootings increase after police move. Watchdog disputes LAPD rationale for rise in police shootings. So the LAPD, they came up with an excuse, and a watchdog says their excuse makes no sense. Police shootings on rise in Durham. That'd be Durham, North Carolina, pretty sure. No increase in mass shootings. That was as of August 2012. That was before the Newtown mass shooting. Shootings by HPD on the upswing. Shootings of suspects by Houston police officers have almost doubled in the first 7 months of 2012 compared with the same period. I'm gonna go to page 2. Police shootings on the rise in Georgia. National data on shootings by police not collected. Fatal shootings of police are on the rise. So as the cops are taking it upon themselves to massively murder Americans, Americans are beginning to shoot back in 2012. Augusta, gang shootings on rise. Police shootings on rise as crime falls. Now, they'd like us to believe that, oh, these cops are doing a service for the community, that their shootings of people are causing a fall in crime. Yet crime has been falling since the early 1990s, and it's in great part related to the booming unity of the community, that people people are beginning to embrace people of other racial heritage, that that there's not this long sharp divide that so pervaded American society in the past, like 50 years ago, 100 years ago, where it was thought okay that apartheid be the division of people based on their race. About the 1990s, with the popularization of hip-hop music, people began to not respect this old order of racial division, and people began to respect their neighbors regardless of whether they were black, brown, yellow, red, white. It did not matter. And so with that in mind, you have with less racism, you have people in these various communities that they're able to earn a living because they can get jobs, because they're not being denied jobs just because of the color of their skin. And so we have this situation that people are able to earn a living based on the destruction of racial boundaries that have been holding people back from being able to make a living. And still, it's a very meager living that people are able to make by these jobs that they're able to get based on the destruction of the racial boundaries. The racism that was destroyed by the popularization of hip hop music, it has affected middle management of retailers. There's plenty of managers in retail that they are not as racist as they would have been in generations past. So, with people able to earn a living, the crime rate has been falling since the early 1990s. The popularization of hip hop music, and now the police, they're doing these massive kill sprees that they're murdering people, and they want to take credit as that having been what is falling crime in America. Police shootings, crime falls. As though these are cause and effect. But no, San Francisco Gate, you do not get away with this. It is not cause and effect. And it's like the fall of crime has been since the early 1990s. shootings, the massive spike in police shootings has only been for the past couple of years, and it all went into effect just in a very short time span. It obviously became a national policy for police to begin murdering people, and it began just a couple years ago. While the following crime has been going on for 2 decades. Anyhow, let's get back to these headlines on Google search result for police shootings on rise. Maine police shootings on the rise. This is coming out of the Bangor Daily News as of 2011. The police in Maine, it's out in the woods. What excuse do they have to go shooting a bunch more people than they did in years past? If I do a search for crime on the rise in Maine, or anything to indicate that police would have more reason to shoot more people, there will be absolutely nothing. Yet, it has even infected Maine. Marked rise in shootings by LA area police. Brooklyn rises up in protest of police shootings. There's a 1 day ago report scrutinizes rise in LA PD police shootings. Are police shootings on the rise nationally? Come out to cooknews.org and go to the first page of the search results. Shootings raise police training questions. Oh, can you imagine if the police were being trained to shoot more people? Fatal police shootings in Los Angeles County rise by 70%. Anaheim sees major increase in fatal police shootings. Fatal shootings of police officers are on the rise. July 21st, 2011. Dallas police shootings on the rise, but is it a growing trend? LAPD reasons for rise in police shootings under fire. LA County fatal police shootings see unexplained rise in police-involved shootings in recent weeks. September 2012. Police shootings on rise across the state. This is Maine. Police-involved shootings on the rise in DC area. I'm gonna do a quick search for some other major cities that weren't mentioned in these search results. Police shootings on rise. Boston. Boston.com. Justifiable homicides by police on the rise. And here's the reaction to this gross tyranny. Mass gun permits on the rise. I want to do a search for Phoenix. Police shootings on rise in Phoenix. Oh, look at this. Phoenix police officer in fatal shooting arrested. So they nabbed one of the federal agents who's out here doing these shootings. That was in 2010. And because they actually prosecuted one of these federal agents who's taken orders to shoot people dead, there's apparently been no significant rise in Phoenix fatal police shootings. It's not indicated anywhere in the first page of the Google search results that police shootings are on the rise in Phoenix. And what happened? 2 years ago when one of these happened, they prosecuted the federal agent who was a police officer. Police shootings on the rise. Orlando. Oh, look, there was a police shooting spree. Oh no, Orlando shooting spree charged with first-degree murder. I guess he wasn't shooting just the cops. Would have more police shootings in Miami, Orlando, and Tampa combined. Here we go. Here's another one. Jacksonville. Police have already shot more people than they did in 2004, 2005, and 2006. Jacksonville, Florida, notably is real close to a naval base. So, it's the naval base being Mayport, Florida. So the federal government, they have reason to install their agents in Jacksonville, Florida. They would have reason to not have their agents in Orlando be shooting people so very often because they like to collect the taxes from the Disney Corporation that they depend on. They depend on tourist money. Tourists from all over the world, Europe and whatnot, visiting Orlando, Florida. You see, I'm gonna do one more search here for a city. Detroit, which has turned into a ghost town. Let's see if police shootings are on the rise in Detroit. Police impersonator crimes on the rise in Detroit. People impersonating police. Wonder who that is. Random shootings increase. I see a sketch of this guy, the random shooter in Detroit. Interesting. Sketch of suspect in the random shootings. Well, it's like Detroit's another place where the federal government didn't bother to order their agents to do a bunch of police shootings. Detroit is a city in decline anyhow. Detroit, they say is basically a ghost town. It's like, it's a modern city ghost town that people have so massively moved out of Detroit that there's like city blocks where they got like 90% vacancy. Oh, here's another reason. Detroit with fewer police and rising crime. So with the city in decline, the people not funding the police, the federal tyranny apparently didn't feel that it was necessary with the population already on decline in Detroit. They didn't feel that it was necessary to order a bunch of police shootings by police of regular people, the regular people of your community. And why? Because that's what they're trying to do. Is they're trying to destroy population. They're trying to get population down. So they want to start little wars everywhere. But the population that was already in decline. So why bother? Also, there's so very few police that they just get destroyed if they're out there doing a bunch of tyranny. Time magazine. Detroit, now a ghost town. Detroit has become a large city with many buildings and too few people. By mid-2008, its population had dropped to 912,000. Looks like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Yeah, so, I don't know, where the federal empire has already succeeded in depopulating, they don't feel like they need to spend the effort to further impose their tyranny, or to probably they still got a bunch of agents on the on the police force there. They just don't have them actively murdering people. Instead, they got one agent, who they have out there shooting people at random, and very obviously a CIA agent, but he's not on the police force. Apparently he's a freelance contractor doing his random shooting hits. I wonder if they ever found the guy. Detroit random shooter in custody. Oh, look at this. They hide the guy's identity. CBS Detroit. Sheriff, it's safe to drive. Random shooter in custody. This is the search result that comes to the top of the search for random shooter Detroit, and it says that they arrested the guy. But here it is. The suspect's name has not been released. Yeah. all these other search, or all these other results that come to the top of Google, they don't report the arrest of this guy, and apparently there's no other report of his arrest that reveals his name. You know, not on the top page of the search results on Google. Yeah, I'm gonna do a search for random shooter Detroit name. The reason I want to get a name is to see if I can find the guy's picture, so I can compare it to the suspect, the sketch from the sketch artist. Widespread random shootings have Michigan police on alert. All of these, there's only one report that describes the arrest of the suspect, and in that report, this one, there's no report of what the guy's name was. Random shooter Detroit caught same day that they hadn't released his name, and here it is, Raul Castillo. Let's try to find a picture of this guy. Yeah, I guess it looks a little bit like the sketch. Yeah. Anyhow, so you know what? I want to do even one more search though. Police shootings on the rise in, let's see, what's the capital of Washington State, Olympia. Officer deaths up 14% despite decline in violent crime. So violent crime against everybody else in society in the United States of America is on the decline, but violent crime against cops is on the rise. Especially violent crime that results in the deaths of cops. Second straight year, police officer deaths, including those fatally shot in the line of duty, are on pace to rise for the second straight year despite a sustained decline in violent crime across the country. That was in 2011. They're reporting this, so apparently in 2010 and 2011, fatal shootings of police officers grew significantly. Officer deaths are up 14% in 2011, while deadly shootings have increased by 33%. If fatal shootings continue at the current rate, gunfire-related deaths would represent the primary cause of officer fatalities this year, according to the report. For the past 13 years, traffic incidents have amounted for the largest number of officer deaths. He said the number of officers killed in apparent ambushes are a concern to me. It's Bernard Malikian, director of the Justice Department's Office of Community-Oriented Police Services. You know what I see is they're doing in response to this, that they're being more often shot dead, is that they're on a propaganda blitz. They're trying to portray themselves in the media as being so necessary to the safety and well-being of the people, that they're rescuing people from house fires and car fires and all of this BS that they haven't done in 60 years since since the insurance told them that they could not do like any type of risky work. They even prevent other people from going into the house fires where their children are dying. But then just a couple months ago there was this report of a police officer. He arrived to a house fire where he couldn't see through the windows because the smoke was so thick and black, and then he decided that he was going to open the door and crawl on the floor through the house to see if he could find anybody that was still alive in the house. And he found the homeowner. How likely is that? Not at all. And then a couple weeks ago, became news that there's a cop who showed up to where there's a car on fire because a kid had been driving in circles in a parking lot, and he crashed his car in a parking lot. Car fire from crashing your car in a parking lot? Okay, yeah, that happens every day. But then they got video from the dash cam footage of the cops that they lined up their car to take the video of themselves pulling this kid from the car that was on fire. Oh no. And who knows however else much of this propaganda that they're doing this propaganda to make it seem like, oh, they're heroes. They got like all kinds of propaganda footage of like cops rescuing cats and dogs and just being general good citizens. And then when they do all these fatal shootings, they're killing dozens of people in one city. Then there's no video of it at all. But we got all this video of them like rescuing cats and dogs and saving people from fires and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see by the comments I read online that anybody's falling for it. They from all the comments that I read on these videos of like, I don't know, reporting what it is that the cops are doing. I see that people, they are very seriously disgusted with the present order. That the police, they are protecting the criminal banksters and the criminal cronies in the government. That they're ripping off, they're fleecing America, and the cops are doing nothing about it when it's their job to arrest these traitorous criminals, and instead they're beating people who are exercising their right to free speech and assembly.